Hi everyone. Just gonna make sure all my setup is good here. Okay. Hi Jody. How's it going? Okay, so today what I want to do. Hi Danielle. Hi Patty and Kim. Good morning everyone. What I want to show you is a little bit of oops, maybe I should put the light on. That would help. Is a little bit like I'm gonna color the image with Copic. First of all, I stamped the lamppost with the Wicked Black, the hybrid ink that Kim carries, and the little fox I actually stamped him in with a party peach. So it's a light color. It's gonna do no line, but it's still like dark enough that I can see it. Sometimes I have a hard time with my eyes, so that helps. So what I'm gonna do is they're gonna be colored in Copic, and then after that I'm gonna do a watercolor finish for the glow especially. So I just had a little example here, like I was playing around. That's Candy Cane Kisses. That's Lucas. So he's all colored in Copic. So he's a little dog, but I did the background with actually only two colors. I used red and green, and you can see it's like really soft and subtle in the back. And I did like the ground also, like just with some dark gray. So I really like the look of that. It's very, very soft, and it doesn't take long, because if you try to color all this in Copic, it's gonna take forever. And if you touch like just the edge of your colors, it's gonna bleed a bit. So sometimes it's just a little bit easier that way. So this was actually stamped on watercolor paper, 140 pounds. Thank you, Patty. And like it's good for watercolor. I tried the other way around actually. So I printed on Copic and then did the watercolor. First of all, you can see that like the paper buckles like crazy because it's not meant to have so much water. And like I'm not an expert in watercolor. Like the first time I ever tried watercolor was with Melanie Holtz at the retreat this fall. So, but I really liked it. But here, like it's harder because you can't put too much water. So for the blending, and it makes it for like very like darker background. So color those little guys. That was last month's release. So I'll start with the lamppost. And actually what you want to make sure is that like the lamppost obviously is here, but it's gonna like have light, like a big glow all downwards. So you may have to make sure that like all around, like at the top of his head, it's going to be lighter. The side of the post, which is closest to the lamppost, is going to be also lighter. Even if we do the glow after with the watercolor, we still have to make sure that we color everything still lighter in those areas. So instead of using the darkest color, you just like stop with that one and you do the other ones first. You don't do as dark. So I'll start with the lamppost. I'm using my C's, so it's going to be C9, C7, C5, and C3. In the lightest area, I'm probably going to use C1. The C's, you don't usually need to use all of them. Like every second one is pretty good. I'm just opening my Copics right now. I like to have them all uncapped first for one color. So I'll start, like I say, with the lamppost. Hope everybody can see properly and that you can hear me. That would be a good thing. So I'll just start with the base and make sure, like I'm coloring right now on watercolor paper, so it is a bit different. The blending is not the same, so I might not blend as much. So the base I'm going to put darker. That's C9. Under the snow, it's going to be a little bit darker. And just to show dimension, I'm using, and I never colored the whole image at the same time, like the whole black. It's easier to blend when it's wet. And this one, since it's not watercolor, I try to give myself as much help as I can. So that was C7, that's C5. And you can see the, like here, the scratching almost of the pen on the paper. It's normal because there's a lot more tooth to that paper than the Copic, which is completely smooth. So see how here, like I have a hard time like just blending. So I'll just put some more C5 and C3. And the reason I stamped the lamppost like black is because I color it black, so it doesn't really matter. But you can see like it goes, the paper is like tends to go out a bit, so you have to be careful. So the little like hat here, I'll do under, it's going to be darker, and on this edge it's going to be darker because it's furthest from the light, and right where I think the light's gonna hit, I'm gonna skip my C9. Don't worry, Kim, I can go slower if you want. Right now I just don't want to be here all morning, so that's why I'm like, I just jumped in. This is C7, so just putting more of the color, once again very light where the glow would be. And then I continue here. This is C5. And just blending again, just like putting a little bit more color in. And my C3. Okay, Cam. Actually, like spoil myself and bought like a new C3 because it was really gummy and gross, and I couldn't do anything with it, even changing the tip or refilling it. But it seems, because it's so new compared to the other one, that it's actually lighter. So I'm not used to that one yet. It's the first time I use my new one. So see how like right here, it's a lot darker, a lot lighter. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that the glow, like when I'm going to add the watercolor, it's actually going to be able to see the yellow through it. So we're going to do the top. I'm just going to flip it here. It's just a little bit easier for me. So once again, everything that's closer is going to be dark, it's going to be lighter, and obviously the opposite. So I'll try on top here, it's going to be darker. Same thing in the little like circle part and the top here. And we can do this also at the same time. And back to C7. Like you can see, I just put little touches here. I don't want to put too much because it does, like the paper does bleed, because it's not a normal, like, but it's not a Copic paper at all, obviously. So that's C5. And I'm gonna end up with C3. Yeah, I love that set. They are so cute. I have to say, I'm like a sucker for a little like character, like Cuties. So obviously when I saw that one, like, I totally flipped. And December is going to be a lot of fun too. Can't say what it is, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Now I'm going to do like the actual lamp. So obviously the light, like, it's going to be stopped a little bit by like the top, so it's still going to be a little bit darker. but I'm not using the C9 because it will be lighter. I'm going to C5. C3. And usually when I do live, my cat Chew is always like walking in my face and stuff like that. So I put his bed on my table, so he thinks he's with me, but he doesn't have that. Like, he doesn't have to be in my face. So that's the best way I found. So that's that was C3, and I'm finishing with C1, which was another one I just bought new. So, and just the edge, I'll do very light. So that's C5. I'm gonna go to C3, extending the color a bit, and C1. And if you color on like Copic on watercolor, don't do too much blending because it's gonna bleed. Like you can see here on the lamppost. And I'm not sure my trick will actually work for to remove the Copic on watercolor. Yeah, Chew is pretty silly. Sorry, you hear a lot of like Copic noises. So what I'm gonna do, like, I'm actually not even touching the lantern because I want it, like, I'm gonna do it with the watercolor. So what I'm gonna do next is just is book. I'm just using the E40s, so I'm starting with E44 after E43, 42, 41, and 40. I don't have to use all of them, but hey, I have them, so I am. So E44. Just uncapping the markers again. So once again, you know that at the top of the book it's going to be much lighter, but it's still going to be darker where his hand is because it casts a shadow under. Same thing with the other end. At the bottom it will be darker. I'm flipping it the other side now this time, sorry. And I'll just do on each side of the edge. So that was E44. Like on Copic paper, that's E43 I'm going to. With Copic paper, I probably would go back and blend some more. But with this, you just have to be happy with what you have. And like you can see, I'm trying to avoid putting a lot of like dark color at the top. And it gives like somewhat of a watercolor effect. That's E42. I think it's maybe because of the paper it does that. The reason I'm going around the edge, like I don't touch it, is because like that's the closest to us, so it should be really the lightest. E41 is next. And with the no line, it actually like does accentuate the watercolor look. So that's E40. And Party Peach is such a nice color for no line. I love it. Like that. So that's my little book all done. Yeah, it does. The no line does that look. I can. So that was the E40s. Just putting them away. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do his little shirt. Like there's no reason. I'm just gonna use like the blues. I'm gonna use the B90s, so 99, 97, 95, 93, and 91. Because like I told you, it doesn't blend the greatest. That's why I use as much color as I can. So like that, it gives me like, I don't have to put so much ink down. And I always have like little cat hair everywhere. So obviously under the book, it's going to be darker, and at the bottom too, because we're the furthest away from the light. So here I won't put the darkest color because it's still like very close to the glow that's I'm gonna put later on. So with doing that, like you have to think about like what you're gonna do after. Just slightly here. Under the color it would be darker also. After that it's B95. Then I'm gonna start it here. And this is probably his little sleeve here. And I'm gonna go back with the B97. I'm gonna add those little lines in his shirt. And a little darker here to see his arm. Okay, now B93. A little bit of blending here, just to extend the color. And B91. So this one I'm still gonna go back a little bit, like that's my B97. Because we're kind of losing the details. Just add a little bit more depth. I'm gonna try to add the lines that were at the bottom too. And B95. B93. And finish with B91. So you can still like do like blending, that's not too bad. So now we have the little dude to do, a little fox. So the color I picked were like orangey colors. I like it that way, and his tail, like the tip of his tail is going to be white. So I'm gonna start with the orangey. I start with E19, but I won't do it at the top because like that's right where he's gonna be a lighter because of that. So his little hands, like at the bottom of his little hand, gonna give the roundness there. Same thing with his other hand or paw if you want. Under his belly, like under his shirt, will be darker also. So I just add the E19 there. After that, I'm gonna go to E7. It's another really nice, like dark, deep red here. So again, like the roundness of his little paws, his little belly. There's not much room, so that's probably gonna end his little belly there, the color. I'll start at the bottom of the fox, but I won't put much. So just going maybe just not even halfway, like a third, to give him some shape. And don't forget his little legs. Or back paw. To me, animals still have legs. I call it that way. What do you mean, Kim? You lost me? Okay, so I'll just gonna go on. Sorry, and this is YR18. And it actually blends really nicely with the E's, like so. It's a little paw, a little front paw. Same thing here. Then, yeah, for like to color on watercolor, you really need like color that blends really nicely together, so you don't have to do it a lot. Like, I mean, you don't have to blend a lot. And it's just so we can see his roundness, so that's why I still have to put some of the darker color a little bit. And my last color is YR12. And if you think you might lose his eyes or something like that because of the no line, what you can do is actually like take another color. I use a Copic multi-liner. That one is like in, I'm not too sure the color it is, but it's like a little light brown. So I'm just gonna put his eyes on so I don't lose him, and his nose. And you see how like I'm adding YR14 because I see here that I have a little bit of a hard time blending because of the paper. So it's going to be a little bit easier with that color in. I'll come back with the YR12 in a minute. So YR12. So now it's going to be a little bit easier. And I'm not going into his ears because I'm going to put more of a pinkish color. And then, hi Anna, how's it going? And I'm just gonna fill the rest of it. But you see now, like, I can still see his eyes and his nose because I put him in a little bit darker color. Looks kind of funny like that, eh? So again, closing all my markers. Oops, and actually I forgot his tail, so I need them back. So again, E19, Salini. Hi Danielle. Okay, so what Danielle is saying is that if I use smoother watercolor paper, it will be easier to blend. The thing is, right now I only have like that watercolor paper, so that's what I use. And I actually forgot his low pass, to finish his low pass too. And Kim just put a link down for the Cuties, like the Caroline Cuties. They're so adorable, and there's a bunch of them actually, so I just love them. And the good thing about the no line is that if you actually go out of the lines or something like that, nobody knows because you can't see the big black line anyway. And wire 12. Hi Sabrina. Okay, now I think I'm done with my orange. Actually, I forgot his feet to the top. I think it's because it's a morning, it's raining here. Okay. Yeah, no, that's true because they're not so big. They do, like, they are faster to color. I like that about them. So I'm doing the tail right now, like the tip of the tail. And like I'm using W3. And W1. I don't want to put color all over because I still want it to look white. Ah, Danielle, that's going to be nice to see. So just a little bit of color, not too much, that's just enough. Then his mouth, I'm using, that's R39. So just in the corner, like where actually is, it's the corner of his mouth, it's not actually his tongue. And his tongue, I'm gonna use R35 and R32. So starting with R35, the center of his tongue would be naturally lighter. So I'm just gonna put a line in the middle. Whoops. And R32. And if you think it looks funny, because it kind of does, what we can do is actually put a line around it so we can, because sometimes the detail get lost and it just looks funny. So what I do is I actually take my stem set, like right now I keep all my mask on my stems so I don't lose them, and then I can kind of put the line back in the way it was. That's a, once again, it's a Copic multi-liner, so it doesn't react with Copic, like it's safe. You won't ruin your markers with it. So that it just makes a little bit more sense. Is the W for Estelle was W3, W1, and W00. Thanks, Anna. So I used those 3 colors for, whoops, I don't know, for the tail. I had a little bit more depth to his tongue. That's R35. Yeah, I don't use planner because like I'm such a bubble head that I need to put everything on my phone, and I don't think, I guess I could just add the picture to my phone, but it wouldn't really work. So R39, I'm just gonna do like the line, a little bit of his tongue, like that. And back with R32. There you go. So I have his nose to do. So I'll go back with the C that I had, or I could actually use W. It doesn't really matter. It's just I have my C out. So C9. Don't need to show you that anymore. For his little nose. C7. Yeah, and like the pen around the mouth does get is like it makes his mouth stand out more. It actually makes sense. Otherwise, it was just a big blob. I think it's because of the orange around it. If I used a different color, it might have popped a little bit more. That was C5. I'm gonna finish with C3 at the top of his nose. There you go. And I have cat hair on my markers. What a surprise. And for the highlight, I'm actually gonna just use like it's a white gel pen. So just a little highlight here. Like that. And if you want his eyes to pop out a little bit more, you can just use a darker brown color. I'll use E27. You can use any which one, or you can use like I have Stadler like 0.3 pen, and they're good with Copics. Just have to do very fine lines. So his eyes are popping a little bit more now. That was E27, but like I said, any like brown would work. Now his ears. What I want to do is I'm using R20 and R30. So I'm starting with R20. And I'm going to finish it up with R30. And once again, we kind of lose the definition between the two of them. So what we can do is take our second darkest color, which was E07, and just do it around his ears very lightly, so we can actually see the inside of his ears. And I kind of like pressed like way too hard there. So I'll try to blend it out with YR12, just correct my boo-boo. Okay. So that's my image all colored with the Copic. Thanks, Kathy. So now I'm just giving myself some room. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna zoom out a bit if I can. Oops, the other way. Okay, technical problem, sorry there. Because my phone is the one like, whoops, I'm going the wrong way again. Sorry. Whoa, okay. I know you're seeing a lot of stuff right now. I'm sorry. I just have to put that the right way again and zoom out. And I'll get you back in focus. You saw my forehead. That was very pretty, eh? I'm still in pajamas and everything. Okay. So I know like it's a little bit like further away, but what I did is, that's again Melanie Holt's wonderful teacher, like for watercolor. She recommended those little like pans to put your watercolor. So I bought them, and they're like, they have magnet at the bottom. So I'm on my Make Art Station. So even if I shake it, they still stay still, which is awesome. I also have like, it's a ceramic plate. Actually, it's just a normal plate. It's the only one I had that was like completely white. I have, it's a number 3, or no, number 6, sorry, a round brush. Also have like just a big one so I can do a wash of water, and I have normal water here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the colors first of all on my palette, and then I'll do sorry, I'm just reading the comments. I'll just paint after. So that's Ansa Yellow Light. That's from, I think, Newton and something. I'm not like overly familiar with watercolor, obviously, like that's new to me. So I experiment a lot because I really like the effect it gives. I'm gonna put some new Camboge here from Danielle Smith. She's supposed to be one of the best. That's what Melanie again was saying. So just putting it there. What, do you have a lot of those markers you have to change the nib, Kim? Here it's Scarlet. I don't need a lot because it's going to be in the center of the lamp. Yeah, I love those magnets. It's awesome, and like the set actually came with it, so that's really great. I'm gonna use, it's a little bit of, it's called, I can't even pronounce it. It's a Rose by Danielle Smith, but it's like the metallic one, and that's just to put a little bit of highlight on the snow. Blue, it's French ultramarine. I don't know what's French about it. Maybe if I talk to it, it's gonna answer me in French. I'm not sure. Payne's gray here, like that. Oh, the like, and the sound you hear is when I'm like putting my brush in my water pan. It has little grooves, so like that I can clean my brush as well. So that's white. I'm not sure if you see all of them. So what I'm gonna do first. Okay, bye Sabrina. Thanks for popping by. Appreciate that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the snow first. Obviously, there's a little bit of snow here. I'm just gonna put like water on it, and the fun thing about that is like when you're mixing both is that like I can put water over the Copic and it won't matter because it doesn't react with water. So now I'm just putting like a little bit of water like over it, and I'm gonna mix the white with the blue because I want really light effect. So I'm gonna try to follow the lines here. And like I said, I'm not an expert by all means with watercolor. So I just like the really soft effect it gives. And right now it's so soft that we can't see anything, but that's okay. So I'm just adding, here we go. And one thing you have to realize also is like watercolor actually dries a lot lighter than than what you see. So now it looks like very blue, but when it's gonna dry, it's probably gonna be like barely even there, the color. So I don't know if you see a little bit better that way. I'm gonna try to zoom in a tiny bit and not like give you a make you sick or anything like that. Oh gosh, let's keep it that way. So just a bit of blue. Now I'm gonna put, like, it's the pinkish here. I'm gonna mix it with the white again because I don't want it too dark. And just, yeah, okay, a little bit of it. If I put it over like wet spot, obviously it's gonna go, like it's gonna mix with the blue. You can always like sponge it a little bit with a Kleenex. And then let's do that again. Just the highlight here. It's gonna be very light, fairy kind of snow. And what you can do also is at the top of the snow, put a little bit of yellow, because that's where the glue would hit. And no, it's not where a dog did his business or anything like that. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it is. So just a little bit of yellow here. And you can like quicken the process like for with a heat gun, which I'm gonna do right now because I actually forgot to do something. I wanted to put the brick background because I just love it. So I'm just drawing the snow that I did with the watercolor. I'm gonna push this aside a bit. Oops. I'm just gonna draw it that way. It's gonna be quicker. Put the like I'm trying to put it straight. So that's the brick wall stencil. I love that stencil. It, oh my gosh, like it's one of my favorite. What I'm using right now, it's a granite gray. I'll put that a little bit higher so you can see. And I just brush it gently on top, and I don't want to I don't want it in your face like bang, just like a slight. So what I do is I always start on the sides, so like that it's darker on the side, and then I can go a little bit more. Another thing I forgot, like I say, I'm a little bit bubblehead this morning. I'll put my mask for my little guy because I don't want him to have brick pattern on his face. It would just look very, very funny. So it's a mask I did before, and you probably noticed that I move my paper, so I'm gonna try to realign everything. You probably see my hair in there. And okay, let's start that again. So I'm probably gonna cut a big part of the top because like it's very high. I don't want brick in the snow either. I seem to have a problem. I'm moving everything here. here. I'm gonna put the magnet on top of the paper also. There you go. That should be better. So I won't put it on the lamppost, like on the part that's not colored. And with the brick wall, like you can like put some color and then leave some space like a little bit emptier, and that's okay. That's the beauty of it. And once again, that's granite gray. Works amazing. So we'll leave it that way. Like I said, I don't want it too dark. So see, that looks not bad. And my little foxy dude is still in his normal color. So now let's go back to the watercolor. So what I'm gonna do is find my brush first of all. And with the glow, in the actual lamp, it's gonna be the darkest. So I'm mixing, if you can see my colors here. Yeah, I love that stencil too, Kathy. So I'm mixing, it's the red with the Cambodia yellow. And I'm gonna put it like around the lamp, but trying to leave a white space with the black line on the outside. And then I'm just gonna fade it out a bit inside. Sorry, with the cat hair again. Oh my gosh. And just continue with lightest color. For the outside, I'm gonna use the Cambodia. And the anti-yellow light, like it's kind of a brighter yellow. Yeah, the ink is amazing. Like you can use it for about everything. So I put a lot of water here. I just want to like do a wash. And now I'm starting to put it over what I colored already. And because like Copic and watercolor don't react to each other, it doesn't matter if I do that. I'm not like, if I was trying to do that with the Copics, I would have to actually go around the image. But I don't have to do that. I don't have to be careful very much, so it's kind of nice. And I'm like slowly fading it out because eventually like you won't get the light till the like at the bottom. Yeah, it has a lot of dimension. So what I'm gonna do, I think like it's starting to dry a bit at in the lantern, so I'm gonna add a little bit more color. So it's the red again mixed with the Cambodia, so a little bit more orangey. I don't want it to be red because it wouldn't be red, right? And that's the sound you hear is my rings like banging against the plate. And I'll put some more color around. Like I say, it does dry a lot lighter, and it depends on like the glow that you want. I want a fairly nice glow. I'm not using it like the way normal people with watercolor does it. I'm just like using it a little bit like Copics, but that it doesn't react with it. And just filling it out with water. So now, once again, sorry, I just want to add a little bit darker in here. What we can do is we can watercolor the rest, or we can actually use our new color, the Stormy Night, and use the brush again and just do like a fade out, like start dark at the edge and like go really light in the middle. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do again is dry all of this. Thanks, Anna. And see, you have the light. I didn't want the orange at the outside, so what I can do is actually use like a little bit of water here, and actually like it kind of re-wet the watercolor, so I can kind of like fade it out here, and I'll re-dry it again. Just like, you obviously can like let it dry, but right now I don't really have time, so that's why I'm doing it like this. So, and I would put it like more color just to put it a little bit like more of a punch, but what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna use the Stormy Sky to do the around it. It's gorgeous, gorgeous navy color. And like I say just earlier, just darker. I want it really dark on the edges because it's nighttime. Oh, thanks, Penny. Actually, like the watercolor, like I said, like I keep saying, I'm not an expert at all. Far from it, but I like to play with it, and I think for background sometimes it's a little bit easier just because it doesn't react with my Copic characters that I color with the markers. And sometimes if you do background with Copics, it's really, really easy to just nick a little like part, and then you have red all over the place, or you have like another color that you don't want there. So I'm trying to go close to the yellow without like actually touching it. Yeah, those brushes are the best ever. At the retreat, I think it was Jennifer that was selling them for everybody. It was awesome. she was sitting like close to us. So I'll try to do a little bit here. And my brush should have some blue still left in it, so I can come closer but like lighter. But it does make, like with the brush, it still makes like a soft effect. So it still works. So we have Copic, we have watercolor, and we have like the brush with the stencil and on its own. So you can mix and match and everything works. Oh yeah, Denise? Yeah, do you have them or you have to wait? Did you order online? And right now I'm just like darkening the edges. That's what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm gonna cut the top. Yes, Patty, I was petting them. They're so soft too. And I didn't have my kitties with me, so I had to compensate. So that's what I have so far. So what I would do is I would just like bring the yellow a little bit more down, like with the watercolor. Sorry. And add once again a little bit of darker color here. And around the edge. Like I say, you can, the fun thing about watercolor is you can go back like almost as many times as you want, as long as you don't put too much like water, because eventually like it's just gonna buckle and it won't want to do anything. Thanks, Kim. I think I'll leave it at that. So that was my little tutorial about like mixing techniques. So it doesn't have to be all one thing you can mix. So if you want to see closer look, so that's the little dude of Mr. Foxy with his background, watercolor, and stormy sky with the brick wall stencil. So I hope you liked it. Thanks, Patty. Thanks, Penny. So I'll let you do your Sunday morning thing. I do have to do the washing also, like clothes washing. So I'll do that. Oh, no problem, Kim. It was awesome. Thanks, Danielle. So I'll let you go. Good day to everybody, and have a good end of the weekend.